I'm not gonna go like that. I put my best foot forward, but Olu is 6'7", and his lower half is he's a genetic freak. We get in, and I'm like tussling with him for a minute, and it looked like he's playing, man. He's just sitting there. He's having a blast. Just sitting there. I'm like, nah, I can't go like that. I let it go for a little bit, then try to pull back. It didn't move.
Didn't come back. So I go to Coach Earls. I'm like, yo, my knee is not good. I don't know who came up with this, but I can't do this. He looked at me, he said, young man, God has a plan for your life. And slapped me on the chest and walked away. And we got a coach who's bringing God into it. And he makes me feel like, you know, so he made me feel like maybe I needed to just have a little bit more faith.
He looked at me specifically and said, you're doing this for your family. God's watching. I'm like, bro, I'm like, bro. I'm like, what? First of all, I can't even focus on what he said because I can't breathe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, can you tell me what knockback is? What's the knockback?
Knockback, that's just moving a man against his will.
From point A to point B.
The man, that's all it is.
Yeah, I remember when I taught y'all about knockback, man. Y'all came in, y'all were like, when they say knockback, Hawk, what do they mean? I'm like, let me show you my film. Real quick, let me show you what we're talking about.
Real quick.
And that's how they learn. Real quick, Vaughn. You're looking at me as if you have something you want to share, brother.
Nah, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I didn't say anything. You had you had the Hawkins get off, bro.
I will. The Hawkins get off. All right, everybody, big news coming out of the Lions Den podcast. We officially have our own merch that we're getting ready to put out. Make sure to go cop yours. Link is in the description below. These proceeds help us produce this podcast, bring on A-list guests, and these proceeds also help Penn State NIL as a whole. Go get yours and tag us on social media. We'll give you a shout out on the pod. Looking forward to seeing you wearing the Lions Den merch exclusively. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Lions Den. I'm surrounded by greatness today. Okay, not only do I have my dog Jerry Cross, as always, we got Hakeem, Beamon, Dvon, Ellies, the faces of the Penn State D tackle room for the last half a decade. I'm gonna ask y'all before we get started.
Okay.
How are y'all feeling?
Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, I mean, we can tell you got the Supreme jacket on, man.
Yeah.
You got
how
the
you feeling,
Cubans.
Keem? What'd you say?
Hey, black and blessed as always.
Black and blessed.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Man, talk to us about y'all 6 year, man, coming back. What y'all looking forward to, you know?
One more year with the guys, man. Like, bro, playing with y'all, especially in the last year, I like took everything in because I considered it to be my last year. So like I appreciated everything. And like in that decision to come back, I look back at those moments where I was just, you know, taking it all in, and it made me realize that I appreciated this place a lot more than I realized, like in my final moments, I thought. But I appreciate this place so much more than I realized, and it's between the fans and the coaches and everybody else, like the experiences and stuff everybody's given me has just been amazing. So
I feel like, and Keem, I'm gonna ask you the same question here in a second, but as you get older and as the moments start to kind of dwindle away at the end, like it seems to wait until the end for just about everybody, and then it all hits you at once, where it's like, man, I've been at Penn State for the last 5 years. I've had all these friends who I've been with every day, grinding, going through the same thing, and the realization of, okay, it's not gonna be like this here soon. So Keem, I'll ask you first, and Vaughn, we'll come back to you. When did you make that decision to come back for a 6 year, and what was the thing that put it over the edge for you to come back?
Honestly, I could say after that game, I truly made that decision. I didn't have the best season personally, and I didn't want to go out like that. And I got some making up to do with the guys.
Some proving to do.
I mean,
Some proving to do. Yeah, and it's funny, man, like, you know, you work so hard for your opportunities, and then they come, and you're the starter. I mean, we were supposed to have PJ Mustapher on tonight. He's a guy who held down one of those spots for a long time, and then it opens up where both of y'all get to hoop a lot, right? And then sometimes the moment comes, and it's not, you don't fully maximize it how you want to. So to have the opportunity to come back is important.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's exciting.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing, man. It's really humbling. You know, now you the old guy, you the OG of the team, 6 year.
oh man,
growing pains, man. You old as... Can you curse on here?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm about to say, you old as hell now, man. I wake up with growing pains every day, but it's still a blessing. I get to wake up and chase my dreams every day, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. And Vaughn, let me ask you the same thing. We talked a little bit before the game. And obviously, we're all close, but I knew that considering coming back for a 6 year was something you spent some time doing. But I want to ask you, what was the moment where you knew that you wanted to come back and do another year with Penn State?
Yeah, I would probably say like I was 100% for sure on it after the game, much like Hakeem. I kind of had an idea beforehand, but I was very set on that decision after the game. I had a lot better year than I had last year, and I just want to capitalize on that, And just running it back one more time with the guys was like, that's a big thing, and I can't go out like that, you know what I mean? Like, at all, like Ole Miss, congratulations, great team. But I can't go like that. And I know that with the talent we have and with everything changing, going to tournament style, I think we'll do a lot better, and we have a lot more to prove. We got a lot more left in the tank. So.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? If you are a college football fan like me, if you know a college football fan that's in your life, you need to go cop this shirt. New designs dropping all the time. It's the perfect gift with the holiday season coming around. If you don't have this thing, you're missing out. Great material, great fabric. I wear it all the time. Go get yours today. All right, we're back. Dvon's taking off his jacket so we can see his Cuban link a little bit better.
Wow. It makes sense.
This is Dvon Elite.
Okay. Yes.
It's his show.
His tattoos are starting to light up now. Wow.
Let me ask you,
what is dreads?
We talked about standards and not going out like that. Obviously, big aspirations at the start of the season, off of the Rose Bowl win. And the standard's always going to be the playoffs. The standard's always going to be Big Ten championship. That doesn't change year in and year out. That's the conversation every year with Franklin. So, Cross, I'll start with you. When you look at that gap and where you're trying to close on that next step that Penn State football wants to take, how crucial is it to get 2 D tackles back in their 6th year, and how massive is that going to be to bolster that unit up front?
I feel like it's real crucial because with our defense, it brings the maturity and the leadership to our defense, and keeps us, because we got a young defense, so it keeps us steady and keeps us going. Also, like all around the board, we need to be like better collectively, and that's what's going to take us to that next step, beating Ohio State and Michigan and propelling past that. So I just feel like it's a collective effort, starting with the offense and, working on.
I like that.
Yeah. And, you mentioned a format change next year. Pac-12 is joining. Y'all got a 5-game stretch next year. I don't remember exactly who's on it.
USC, I think it's USC,
USC, Washington, and Oregon.
Oregon, like back to back. So it's going to be, but that's the point. It's going to continue to get more competitive. Yeah. And I tweeted as soon as I saw that both you guys were coming back, I'm like, this is a massive win for Penn State because you get 2 vets back at the 2 most important positions on the defense in my book. I don't care what else you got on the back end. If you don't have 2 guys who can stop the run, guys who can pass rush interior, it's going to make it tough to win at a high level. But
you see that with the Pac-12 play that we've seen in the bowl games. Like, they can't really stick with super physical teams, especially Big Ten-like teams.
Yeah.
They said Utah a couple years ago, or in the Rose Bowl, was
a physical
team. But I mean, they're a great team, but it just didn't feel like Big Ten play.
Right. So, wow. Utah's paying with strays right now, 2 years later.
What you got to say?
I was just saying.
No, you're right, though.
Yeah,
I agree. That's all I'm going to say.
So, King, let me ask you. We got here under Brent Pry. We all were recruited by Brent Pry, all 3 of us. You played for Manny Diaz. And now you got Tom Allen from Indiana coming in to take over the defense. And people have been asking, how big of a loss is Manny Diaz? And, of course, it's big because he's a great coach. But the more important thing to me, aside from the X's and O's, is the culture of the defense. And how do you continue to have a culture of excellence in that room? So I'm going to ask you, as a guy who's a 6th year that's coming back as a leader, how do you maintain and build upon the culture that's already in the Penn State defensive room?
You just stack days. That's all you can do. Try to be as consistent as you can be. stay disciplined and high effort in everything you do, whether it's on the field, off the field, whether it's your recovery, your eating. You just got to attack everything each and every day.
Yeah. And Dvon, what do you say about that?
I think that we just needed, first and foremost, everybody got to buy in. I feel like that's going to be a big thing with the guys. With having Manny leave, everybody was just so brought in and on, his scheme, the way he operated the defense, just ideals, how you should think. And now with the changeover with Tom Allen, I'm sure there's some trepidation amongst the other guys, especially the younger guys who've seen the success we had with Coach Diaz. They don't know what that's going to look like with Coach Tom Allen. They're not really too familiar with his game. But I think we should just, lean into it. We had questions after Pry left. Yep. But then Coach Manny came in, you know what I mean? So I think just as a defense, we need to buy back in just as much as we were brought in with Coach Manny after we figured out who he truly was, after the hire. Yep. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And then like Hakeem said, stacking days. With everybody buying in and then us stacking days, I felt like we were one of the best teams in the country. Some games may not reflect that all the time, but it's college football, you know what I mean? But I think as long as we all buy back in and lean into the process, I think we should be good.
Yeah. I'm going to transition here right now because looking into Hakeem's eyes, I just remember this story. You talk about culture, you talk about buying in. Obviously, phase one of that, which we all know is coming up. Winter workouts. Okay. It's the grimiest time of the season. Yeah. The young guys who don't know are about to find out. And I remember the winter workout story. Hakeem actually betrayed me at a winter workout in my last season. So in my last year, so I'm going to tell you, Jerry, don't even worry. My last year, I'm doing the winter workout, right? I do the whole thing. I condition at the end. Now, there's a side group for winter workouts of guys who aren't fully healthy but are working out, but they're not doing the winter workout. So my guy, Dvon, was coming off an injury. He was building back up. He was almost healthy but not ready. So I do the whole workout. I condition. And we go right from conditioning into competition. Now, Dvon is already the superior athlete. We've talked about this. He's faster. He's stronger. It is what it is. That's what God gave him. So I get the matchup. Coach Pry, Coach Franklin call it out. Dvon Ellies versus Aeneas Hawkins in sled pool. Okay? So I'm already knowing, even fully rested, this is an uphill battle because Dvon has more explosion than me. Hakeem Beamon, who I was there with when he came, I was there for Hakeem the day he got on campus. This is one of my young guys. Walks up to Dvon and goes, "Come on now, Von." I'm talking about, right? I'm like, wow. Bro's not even going to pretend like he's rooting for me. I don't remember. You don't remember that? Oh, do you remember that?
Yo, kid talking about some Von.
Yep.
That's on me, brother.
Yeah. That's on me. And I share that story to let y'all know it'd be your own guy.
Hey, how did that make you feel?
Look,
like, what you?
To be fair to Hakeem, though, I definitely did give him the.
Right. Right. It's crazy. I just, and back to Coach Franklin, his matchmaking. Coach Franklin, I don't play anymore. So I'm going to say what I want to say. We got to reevaluate how we decide these matchups.
I think he was looking for the latent dog, how it just hits later sometimes, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
It's the latent competitor in you.
The worst part about that, so I remember we had, Coach Scott. So Coach John Scott, who's now with the Detroit Lions. Before him, we didn't watch any winter workouts. Like, we didn't go back and watch the film. But that year, we started doing it. So we go into the D-line room, and the first clip they show is me and Dvon racing at the end of this workout. I'm talking about, they blow the whistle, the rep starts, I get off as hard as I can, as fast as I can. I look up, and Dvon is 3.5 yards in front of me off of the second step.
So you going all out, you still lose.
Oh, man, it wasn't even remotely close. Like, the race was over when it started.
Yo, but, Hawk had, issues elsewhere.
What issues
you know what I mean? You feel me?
What other issues?
I was just saying, his purpose was different.
Okay.
His focus.
God had different plans.
Yeah, different plans, bro. He just has different ways of leading you there.
Yeah.
That just
whatever, man.
so happened to be one.
You're losing.
So, Cross, don't start.
Hey, we'll have competition periods. Jerry will go up and get it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
So, let me go around the room and ask, everybody, I'm going to ask everybody to share a winter workout moment that either broke them a little bit and made them realize that they had to get better, or a moment where you overcame and adapted, because inevitably with winter workouts, you're going to go through some real adversity. So, Jerry, let's start with you. Do you have a winter workout moment, good, bad, or ugly?
Yeah, I say my freshman year. Well, when I first got early enrollee, 17 years old. I won my first 4 tire pulls. My 5th tire pull, I went to get Smith Vilbert.
The Haitian sensation.
Yeah, so
6'6".
They all boosted my head. I'm like, I'm on a 4-win streak. I ain't gonna lose. Like I didn't even get to pull it. Like I was drugged 5 yards immediately.
That's a humble moment.
That was it was kind of demoralizing. I was like, dang,
yeah.
That's cool, bro. Like walking to college for real.
There's nothing like getting dragged 5 yards in front of 100 of your peers. Yeah.
Yeah, by a tire.
Because you can't let go, because then you're soft.
No.
But you're taking a ride at a certain point.
Definitely.
My bad. Nah, it was the last time I did a tire pull. I said, yeah, I'm too old for this shit.
Who you go against?
It was after the workout, right? So mind you, he kept just putting me up against young guys like I was supposed to go like that or something.
Right.
So then he was like, all right, Olu, Dvon. Mind you, look, I'm not going to go like that. I put my best foot forward. But Olu is 6'7", and his lower half is he's a genetic freak. Like it's bigger than most regular people's body.
Yep.
We get in, and I'm like tussling with him for a minute, and it looked like he's playing, man. He's just sitting there. He's having a blast. Just sitting there. I'm like, nah, I can't go like that. I let it go for a little bit, then try to pull back. It didn't move.
Didn't come back.
It didn't move. Then he just started jerking, and I was like, shit, I gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
Boy, he dragged me across that line. I get up. I said, yeah, I'm too old for this shit. And that was the last time.
That was the last tire pull for you.
That was the last time.
Keem, you got any tire pull moments or anything like that for winter workouts?
If I'm being honest with you, I can't recall.
It's too easy for
He a workout warrior to me. He's a workout warrior, bro.
Yeah, I don't really. Oh, actually, I do have one. Yeah, okay. Last year. Yeah, it was last year. Okay, so we have a freshman, matter of fact.
Oh.
Dunk.
Okay.
Donk.
Yes.
Oh, Donk.
Yeah, Dunk. Yeah, he got me real bad. All I know is Coach blew the whistle, and I went forward about 10 yards.
It happens fast sometimes, man.
Oh, no, it was more than fast. It was it was nothing. Like, yeah. That was
No, but
my one and only
Keem
time.
crazy though, bro. I seen Keem laughing in the middle of running.
Keem was frustrated.
I was like, bro, no, I'm like, are you okay? Like, I'm like, everybody else dead, like tired. He laughing, smiling, screaming. I'm like, what is he doing?
So here's the problem I had with Keem.
Bro, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Bro, we had a workout freshman year. One of our first workouts. We in the sand, right? We in the sand for about a good 20 minutes. Deej, our old strength and conditioning.
Shout out Coach D.
Shout out Coach D.
Shout out the real one. He said, guys, it's going to be a light workout. Okay. In the sand, and then we're going to go over the track. We said, okay. We get in there dying after the first warm-up rep. Then everybody's dead. We go to the track. We're running 100s or 200s, something like that.
Day. Yes.
Boy, we all going. We get to the last rep. Keem like, guys, I think we should all go full speed.
Now keep in mind, can I jump in here for a second? Hakeem Beamon just now got to normal D tackle weight. This is young Hakeem. He's like an outside linebacker. We're all 300 pounds.
Young guy, but like working out crazy, like.
Feel with energy, man.
And so he like, I think we should go full speed because it was split up. Like 70%, 80%, 90%.
Yep.
He like, the last one, I guess I think we should go full speed. One of our other old heads shot. He looked up. He looked at another defensive tackle, Damian Barber. He said, Dame, go get this young man. I remember that. He said, and Dave, he walk up to Kim, he said, Kim. He said, nah. He said, nah. Yo, this is the funniest. And I was too tired to laugh, but that was like one of the funniest things ever, bro.
Those are good days, man. It's funny, like, again, we all basically came in together. I was a year before you guys, but like my old heads were y'all's old heads too, like Shaka, Antonio, Damian, all them cats. So I was just thinking on the drive here, the D-line room, and I'm not sure if it's still like this. I would assume it is. When we got here, though, that unit, it was not a closer unit on the team.
Oh, no.
I mean, from everything. I remember the first day I got here, Shaka, it was the first practice. I come from a big private Catholic school. Like, we weren't allowed to fight. We weren't cussing on the field, none of that. And Shaka looks at me. There was a fight happened right in front of me at practice. And me, PJ, and Judge Culpepper are just standing there watching. So Shaka comes and finds us after. He's like, yo, the next time one of us fights and you're not in that fight too, you got to fight me in the locker room. So from that moment on, the moment the fight started, I was in there throwing hands. So, yeah, the D-line, man. Shout out Shaka Tony. I want to ask y'all both, actually, about Shaun Spencer, a guy that recruited all of us. He's at Texas A&M now. He's still doing a good job.
That's tough.
Yeah, he just got the new
great.
job.
Congratulations.
When y'all think back on Coach Spence, obviously you had Spence, you had John Scott, you've had Deion, but I want to ask specifically about Spence. What was it about him that y'all appreciated as a coach when you got in?
Well, for me personally, it was just like his energy every day in and day out. Like, he's the most turned guy. He always bringing the juice. And what's that little joint he had? That little the magic juice.
Yeah,
magic juice.
Yes. Man. He was just a character, man. He was like a bigger Kevin Hart. You feel me? Like he was a
lot
character,
bigger.
man.
A lot bigger.
Old Spence,
He was a small, big man. He just little rock.
Yeah, man. Spence didn't play. He was, I always said, he was one of those guys that, I mean, even, he was a good coach, but he didn't have to really say anything. Like, there'd be days where he'd come in the film room, like, we'd watch some film, but after a while, he'd cut it off, and he would just start dancing up front and talking about what we had to do and mentality, and people would run through a brick wall for him.
100%.
And the best coaches, I feel like, are able to get their guys to just buy in. So I'll transition a little bit here back to Tom Allen. I don't know if he's been around, if you guys have had the chance to talk to him, but do you see him being able to get guys to buy in, being able to get guys to buy into that culture and strive to be elite like you were last year? Is that something he's going to bring to the table?
I talked to him recently, man, and honestly, he reminds me of a Manny that's more of a man of God. Not to say that Manny wasn't, but this guy right here, he's like really really religious, and he takes it serious. He's disciplined with it, and I can't wait to be coached by him. Honestly, yeah, he's a great guy, man of God. Yeah, I respect that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, all the interactions I've had with him have been super positive. You know, he already likes our room as it is, you know. I think a lot of DCs, you know, they like to look at other rooms, you know, first, like linebacker rooms, et cetera, especially if you come to a place like here, you know, with the history we've had. But I think he knows how good our defensive line is, and I think he fully intends to utilize us, properly. You know what I mean? Like, we have freaks up front. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We do.
So, you know,
it may seem like a strange thing to mention that Tom Allen is a man of God. Yeah. But there's another cat on the staff, Jeff Earls. So he's
Pastor Jeffrey Earls.
Pastor Jeffrey Earls. So
I love you, man.
Quick Coach Earls story. So one day we're about to max squat. I haven't squatted all summer because I got a bad knee. I'm talking about I have not squatted one time all year long. I walk in the weight room thinking I'm not max squatting. I look at the card. It says 465 AMRAP. So I go to Coach Earls. I'm like, yo, my knee is not good. I don't know who came up with this, but I can't do this. He looked at me. He said, young man, God has a plan for your life. And slapped me on the chest and walked away. And when you got a coach who's bringing God into it, and he makes me feel like, you know, so he made me feel like maybe I needed to just have a little bit more faith. So I got into that bar, man.
I can do it.
Yeah, so we got other coaches.
Yeah, I can do it.
I never forget during winter workouts, mat drills, I went back like 3 times. Well, our whole group went back like 3 times. He looked at me specifically and say, you're doing this for your family. Guys watching. I'm like, bro, I'm like, what? First of all, I can't even focus on what he's saying because I can't breathe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing, I'm like, what are you talking about? But at the end of the day, you get what he's talking about because he a real dude. Like,
For sure.
Coach Earls, like, when I talk to him, I don't talk to him all the time. He done got me through a lot, so I got a lot of respect for him for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. There's not a lot of guys like Coach Earls who get you to buy in. We just had Olu on at the Peach Bowl, and we talked about Coach Earls extensively. Coach Earls cares about his guys. Like,
100%.
And even much bigger than football.
100%.
I still get texts from Coach Earls, and I ain't played Penn State football in 2 years. He's one of those types of guys. I do want to ask y'all, though, like, we talk about the weight room, we talk about young guys who are developing, and there's a bunch of them on the D-line still who are up-and-coming, future NFL guys, future starters. As old guys, how are you leading that group, and how are you motivating them to continue to grow every day?
Shoot, it's not hard, honestly. Them guys want to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they be hitting us up. Like, shoot, it's easy for us.
Yeah, we got a good group of guys.
Great group.
You know, most guys, they're kind of worried coming in. They don't know what to expect. They don't know what it's gonna look like. But these guys are just, they on us. Like, hey, can we get in the lab? Like, can you show us some stuff about? They're gonna be well ahead of the curve. You know, a lot further along than we were by the time spring ball and stuff comes. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Before we really start playing football, they're gonna be a lot further along. And that's just because of their want to. You know, when you have young guys like that, and I think I spoke on this last time. When you got guys who are motivated to do, you know, anything that is demanded to get here, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. And the young guys, from what we've seen so far, they want to go get it.
They want
it.
Lead it.
So, Key, let me ask you, how big of a part does Deion Barnes play in that? Because you can get talented guys. You can recruit talent. I mean, we've been recruiting talented guys on the D-line for a long time. What's up, everybody? If you are a college football fan like me, if you know a college football fan that's in your life, you need to go cop this shirt. New designs dropping all the time. It's the perfect gift with the holiday season coming around. If you don't have this thing, you're missing out. Great material, great fabric. I wear it all the time. Go get yours today. But if you don't recruit guys who want to get better and who are going to strive to be excellent, to uphold that standard, it doesn't really matter how talented they are. Do you feel like Deion Barnes and his presence and who he is as a coach is attracting those types of kids to pull up to Penn State and come play here?
110%, man. Deion is a competitor at heart. This man, he raised the standard like times 1,000. We be in the room stressing, but we also be in the room having fun and just getting the job done, bro. Like, Deion, he a different type of cat. Deion should still be playing in the league right now as we speak, but you know, he got other plans. But yeah, he brings the intensity every single day. We know what we're getting out of him, and yeah, man, I just can't wait for this next year.
Yeah,
another year with him.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Deion. Even when he was a GA, it was like, you know, there's some coaches who are just real loud and they'll yell and they'll try to get guys' attention that way. And Deion wasn't that when I was there. He was real quiet, but every time Deion opened his mouth, as a GA, everybody got quiet and listened to what he had to say because he brings so much value. He knows the game. He was in those shoes. He was at the highest. He was at the lowest. He's seen all of it. So I feel like he gets guys to buy in because they know that he's being genuine and authentic about it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, he definitely he tells us this a lot. Like how he entered the league and the way it played out for him. He doesn't want that for any of us. So that's I think that's where he's coming from with a lot of this. You know, he wouldn't want. He felt it so much when it happened to him that he wouldn't want us to ever feel like that ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And Cross, let me ask you, because we're in the offseason now. You lose Theo Johnson to the NFL draft. You got Tyler Warren back, but you're in a position now where you can go compete for some more meaningful reps. What's the mentality like? What's the approach like heading into winter workouts now that you're heading into a year where you have a real opportunity to play?
For me, I just feel like I developed the way I was supposed to. Even with my injury, I feel like that kind of helped me. It was a blessing, honestly. I got faster, I got stronger, I learned more of the game. Like playbook, I know the playbook, and like just getting better, I done got better. So I just feel like I'm good, you know. So now I'm just locked in, completely just ready to take advantage of my opportunity. So this spring that I'm ready for it. So I'm ready to take the next step.
Yeah. I feel like there are a couple reasons to come back for a year 6. I feel like it's a balance between, I love Penn State. I want to leave it better than I found it. I want to go compete for a Big Ten championship in the playoffs and all those things. But the other side of it on an individual level is there's still room to get better.
Yes, sir.
And you want to continue to improve. And both of you have NFL aspirations. So I'll start with you, Hakeem. What are the things you're focusing on this offseason that you want to improve upon heading into the 2024 season?
Just consistency, like great knockback, like not just the regular knockback. I'm talking about like I'm moving you back like 3 yards consistently, and also just being a dominant force in the pass rush game.
Hey, can you tell me what knockback is? What's a knockback?
Knockback, is moving a man against his will.
From point A to point
The
B.
man, that's all it is.
Yeah, I remember when I taught y'all about knockback, man. Y'all came in, y'all were like, when they say knockback, Hawk, what do they mean? I'm like, let me show you my film. Real quick, let me show you what we're talking about.
Real quick.
And that's how they learn. Real quick, Mom. You looking away as if you have something you want to share, brother.
Nah, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. You had you had the Hawkins get off, bro.
I will. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I will say with both of y'all, I can remember specific moments as young. I mean, y'all were young. Me and Judge Culpepper are here. All right, PJ had already established himself. Me and Judge are still fighting for the scraps. We're like, yo, we got to get on the field one way or another. Yeah. We're feeling good after the offseason. You guys pull up in the summer. And Dvon, you were a freak athlete from the jump. You guys were dominant in one-on-ones from like the beginning. Like I'm talking about no technique, but we're just super athletic. I remember you hit a crazy spin move on Mike Mena in camp the one year. And that's, I'm talking about, I knew the moment that Dvon had surpassed me and I wasn't going to catch him. Hakeem Beamon didn't lose a one-on-one rep for 3.5 years at 211 pounds. I'm talking about whooping NFL offensive line.
like slipping through stuff. Like
people would ask me, the first year I started media, they were like, yo, Hawk, like, who are some of the guys to like think about? And like, who are like the super talent? I'm like, yo, Hakeem Beamon has never lost.
Bro, he'll bend and do, like you won't even believe. He'll get off a block, he'll slip a block, and he'll point his toe all within half a second and be 2 inches from the ground and not fall.
Some things you can't teach. It's funny, like if you talk to any of the offensive linemen who have been here about either of the two of you guys on one-on-ones, and you're like, yo, what is it about these two that makes it hard to stop? They'll give you a 10-minute TED Talk on why it's impossible and how it doesn't.
You got it. I'm telling you. That's just what we learned from Hawk, though.
Right. That's what we come back to the main point.
That's just what we learned, man.
I will say, as the old man in the room now, like it's cool watching games.
Yeah.
Like when you two make a play specifically, like on the interior of the D-line, like it's so exciting to watch because you see the progress and the development over time. So, I'll ask both of you, what was it that allowed you guys to stay locked in for this long and to continue to develop? Because college football is not easy. It's a grind. It's easy to check out when things aren't going exactly how you want them to. And you both have overcome different types of adversity. What was it that allowed you to keep growing?
I'm gonna say my D-line brothers, man. You already know how it is. So we all like this, bro. Each and every day. I'm gonna give it to the guys.
Yeah.
And not only the guys, just like we were gonna do this anyways. You know what I mean? Like we were gonna play football regardless, and where it's happening and who we're playing against, it doesn't matter just because of like who we are as a D-line, as 6-year players. You know what I mean? Just seeing what's out there, and then just seeing how much our level of play has improved under Deion and with the coach's help and the development. Like there's just another level that we can take it to, and we know it.
Yep.
And we know it,
Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you this, and let's get right to it. I tell people all the time, because I'm in the media space now, so I am talking more to fans than I ever did as a player, and I'm hearing more of what they got to say. And obviously, there's frustration because they want to be great, and they want to see Penn State football be great. And I tell them, as much as you want to be great, I promise you that the guys in the locker room who are literally bleeding, crying, giving their entire livelihood to being great, want it just as bad times 1,000.
Thank you.
So my question is, I'm not lying.
I don't know if they understand. Like I don't know if they'll understand that as much as you want it for us, we want it that much more for ourselves.
We don't have lives.
Like, for a reason.
Our life is FOOTBAL, football, every day.
Every day. Like,
Every day.
they don't stop.
Every day.
So my question to you then is, what is your message to the fans heading into the offseason? What can you tell them about where Penn State football is going and the mentality and the vision as leaders of this team? Dvon Ellies, president of Penn State. What is your message to the people?
That's it.
Just keep being y'all. Trust us to show up. Be excited, to be honest with you. We got Hakeem Beamon back for a 6th year. You know what that means for our defense. We got Smith Vilbert coming back.
They don't even know about Smith Vilbert.
And they don't know.
Yeah, they don't.
You know what that means for our defense? I'm telling you, there's so many pieces, there's so many young guys, there's so many moving parts that's happening. You got to understand that there's more in store than what you've seen. You know, every year, it only gets better and better. Of course, we're going to have our pitfalls, but every year, we're always right there, and I promise this year will be the difference.
Smith Vilbert before the Outback Bowl. I think that was his first start.
Man.
So
His first.
like first ever.
Broke a record.
So-
A bowl game record.
So this is my last game ever. So I'm just hanging. It's like vacation. Like I'm in the locker room. I'm just having fun. Like I'm listening to music, dancing. I'm soaking it all in. I see Smith in the locker. He ain't smiling. He ain't talking to nobody. I'm like, okay, my dog's probably nervous. First start. I'm like, Smith, how you feeling, man? Like, how you think you gonna do? He's like, Hawk, I'm getting at least 3 sacks. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Like 3 sacks is a lot.
He told me that a week before the game.
Yeah, he did, bro.
And he got every single one of them in the first half.
He said, you gotta visualize, bro. I said, yes, sir. He said, you gotta visualize, bro. I said, yes, sir.
We haven't
He
even
was right.
seen that end room at full strength.
No.
You're going to get the
No.
Nye Dennis Sutton next year. Another year is Arrive Fisher, Amin
Vanover.
Smith, Vilbert,
I mean,
Jamil Lyon.
Jamil Lyon. Oh, my God.
And listen, they've been sitting back and watching and learning and paying attention to exactly what Adisa Isaac and Chop Robinson have been doing.
Yeah.
Not even to mention Arnold Ebiketie, who was here a couple years ago, and Shaka Tony.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, NFL.
Jason Noah. Shane.
Goodness gracious.
Come on.
Yetur.
my goodness.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what, and we've talked about this already, but I'd be remiss if we didn't bring it up again. There are fights that happen on a football team. It's such a competitive environment. And this isn't about us this time, but you want to talk about a matchup nightmare. If you're not prepared, you fight one of them DNs, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
Let me tell you something. You talk about genetic freaks. They're going to be 6'4", 6'5". They're going to be about 250 to 270, and they run 4.4.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a matchup nightmare. I don't think I've ever beaten. I mean, the way Shane Simmons used to do me, I'm talking about completely helpless. Like I would always try to fight back and couldn't do anything. Too much power, too much exposure.
Shane's a freak though. Like he doesn't make sense genetically. Like you look at him like he can touch his toes standing straight up, and then on top of that he can lift the elephant straight on. So like it doesn't make sense with Shane. It
doesn't make any sense at all.
And he just sits in his room, you know, and like doesn't like lift crazy or nothing.
Nope.
It's just like God.
That used to be the worst part, man. It would be guys who never worked out as hard as me, who I could not physically beat in any type of competition. But it's all right, man. I want to ask y'all, let's focus on the offensive side of the ball. You bring in a new coordinator. You got Drew Aller in another year of development. You got Nick Singleton, Katron Allen back. You got all kinds of talent. What's it going to take for that offense to continue to grow? Obviously, you guys are competing against them every day. So what do you see that is a positive reflection of where you think that offense is heading next season?
I think it's their buy-in. You know, of course, the offense has had their pitfalls, but I believe that they're buying into the new OC and his ideals as an offense. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what that yields, but as of right now, from what I've seen, I believe that they're locked in. They're bought into that offense, you know. And this is nothing against our previous OC, but this OC just seems like, you know, he's ready to push the envelope, open up the playbook, you know, do something more than what we've been doing in the past pretty much.
Yeah, it's a change. Change is good a lot of times. Cross, you're on the offense. Yeah. So what has the vibe been with the new OC? What's the vibe with the offense like? What's it looking?
If you take a look at Kansas and look at their offense, you can see emotion shifts. Like he do, it's like he playing a little game with puzzle pieces. So it's a lot to look forward to. We all, like Vaughn said, we all bought in, and that's what it's going to take for us to take that next step as a whole offense collectively, just to buy in and everybody just do their job at the highest level and be productive. Yeah. And like Hakeem mentioned earlier, being consistent. That's the biggest thing with offense. With offense, the difference between offense and defense, everybody has to do their job for the play to work out. So collectively buying in and being consistent every play, every down, that's what's going to take us to the next step and beating who we want to beat and, winning the national championship and focusing on the goals that we want to win. We don't want to,
accomplish.
Yeah, accomplish.
For the fans who don't know, this cat was at Buffalo in 2019. We played Buffalo in 2019.
Yeah.
And this is
they give us work.
Listen, so we were Theo's brother. Listen, so we were 11-2 that year. I think at every position we had a guy who eventually would go play in the NFL that started. I mean, talk about a talented roster. 11-2 Cotton Bowl win. Buffalo came to Penn State, to Beaver Stadium, and if I remember correctly, they might have been winning at halftime.
They give us work.
Like they were real solid.
It was real work.
The scheme they had, the way they were opening up with obviously a talent gap was impressive to watch. So I'm excited to see what he can do with
schematically.
Man, I mean, this will be the best quarterback he's had by a mile, the best overall talent. Obviously, putting in a bunch of work in the transfer portal. Yeah. Let's maybe even speak to that for the fans who don't know. We've had transfer guys before, but it seems this offseason it's an even bigger emphasis with just the way college football is trending.
Yeah.
So when you guys hear about transfer guys, what is that experience like?
I mean, it's different because it's going to be a competitive room. Anytime you bring a new transfer and that brings new life into the room, and I feel like that's what we're capitalizing on a lot this year too. We've hit the portal, we got some corners, offensive linemen, what have you, and I feel like they're going to be that difference in turning a notch up a little bit. You know what I mean? Just because there's new blood in the room, there's new blood in the building. You know what I mean? There's new energy. And they really want it, The reason why they're transferring is because they want to touch that rock. They want to touch the field. They want to get to work. You know what I mean? They weren't getting that opportunity necessarily elsewhere. You know what I mean? They weren't getting what they wanted. And here, it's all about football. Like, what else can you really ask for? You know what I mean? There's not much to do around State College. Just football.
Just football.
I mean? So
I feel like the philosophy generally, if you just look at the course of history, they're not bringing in transfer guys that they don't think can come in here and play
right away.
Yeah. So if you're bringing a guy in the middle of his career, your Coach Franklin, it's because you expect him to come compete for starting reps. So if you're a guy that's in the room already, a lot of times that's only going to drive competition, and that's what people don't see. It may be friendship, it may be team, but you got an 8-month off season where every day, every workout, every practice, every film session is measured. Everything is evaluated, and that's a big part of it. So I guess I'll ask, when you have a guy that comes in, I mean, we were here with, what's his name? Derek Tangelo. Congo came in.
Congo.
And it's competitive, and obviously he ups it, and it's good for the entire room, but how do you handle it when a guy comes in who you know is going to be your direct competition for meaningful reps?
For me, it really
don't affect nothing because you're a king. Right.
I mean, not like that, but like if you just focus on yourself, you're gonna be exactly where you want to be. Yeah. So, I mean, but it does make the room a hell of a lot more competitive, and that's good. That's great for the room. But me personally, you feel me? Focus on yourself. You'll be all right.
And I always tell people, Dvon, like, as competitive as it gets, I mean. And we're a prime example. We jokingly tell the story of us fighting at walkthrough, but like it'll go from being super competitive or even going as far as fighting to you get back to the locker room and 10 minutes later, it's like nothing happened.
Like, what you doing later, bro?
You're going to eat together.
What you about to do, bro?
So you can compete. That's the cool part about college football. Yeah. You can compete your tail off, and then these are your boys at the end of the day. And it's love, and everybody wants to see each other win, and that's like, it's not like that everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. I mean, that's like real competitors. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's when they turn it on and off, they really turn it on. You know what I mean? Or they just compete in everything that they do. But it's not a I'm gonna do it because I know I'm better than you. It's just gonna be like, I'm gonna give my best because I respect you enough to give you my best. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's just how real competitors operate. You know what I mean? And it'd be a disservice to any of us if we just sat there and only gave you 50% of what I'm really capable of doing. Like, that's just spit in your face. You know what I mean?
Right. I also think it's a part of the reason, I mean, lately, the past 5 years, there's so many Penn State guys who go to the NFL and they immediately blow up. Joey Porter Jr., Micah Parsons, Juice Scruggs is starting with the Texans. PJ Musford just made the Saints roster.
Who that?
Guys go to the NFL, and because Penn State prepares them so much, Parker Washington, Brenton Strand, I mean, they go and they dominate. They win the jobs. They know how to compete at a high level, and it's not like that everywhere. You're not prepared as much as you are when you leave a Penn State to go to the NFL. So shout out Coach Franklin. It's plastered all over the walls. We've talked about it before. The most competitive environment.
Every single wall.
Man.
Unrivaled, competitive.
Man.
Every turn, every corner. It's something about competing.
It's all over the place. That's all they talk about, man. Well, listen, I appreciate y'all boys joining me, man. It's a big off season, big year ahead. Looking forward to watching y'all. We'll have y'all back on the Den, man, when y'all will go win a Big Ten championship, man. So
amen.
We'll laugh about it.
I'm not gonna lie, we'll come in with cigars when that happens. You did.
We'll turn off the smoke detectors.
Yeah, man. Come on with cigars in the trophy. That's good. Hat sideways. Yeah, Kobe's.
To all the viewers back home, our loyal audience of the Lions, and thank you for watching another episode. Stay tuned with State Media. We'll continue to drop the best episodes covering Penn State football known to mankind. Dvon, Ellies is lit. I'm lit. Hakeem and Jerry are lit. And we'll see you next week.